What's going on, everybody? It's Quicksilver here, and today I'm going to work some more on our, I guess it's going to be the Fight Club, ultimately, that I'm calling this thing. So I guess first of all, let's get over here and I will show you kind of where I ended up with what we were working on last time. If you haven't watched my last video, which I apologize, again, I think I did in my description, but it was a couple of days late, and the reason for that is the weather out here where I live is just absolutely nuts right now, and we've had crazy snow. My power, when I was trying to upload this thing, I think I kept seeing these green flashes outside my window, and the power went off like 6 or 7 times while I was trying to upload the video, and so finally I just kind of said the hell with it and gave up. So that's why you guys got this thing a day late, or that thing I guess a day late. Hopefully this one will be on time. The weather gods will play nice and work in our favor. So here's what I ended up with. If you did see my last video, then this is familiar to you guys. If not, go ahead and check it out really quick. It'll make a little bit more sense. But this is basically all my redstone. I've gone ahead and covered everything up in here. It's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but I'm not too worried about it. Really, the only function of it is to hide the redstone. I didn't really want to make it look too beautiful because we're not really going to spend any time over here anyway. And apparently I left my little channel, my little endless water source over there, which is nice that it went ahead and froze, even though it's right next to a torch. I swear, man, I can't get my ice tray to freeze, but this thing will freeze no problem. Go figure. So anyway, so that's that. Then right here, this is our lever that we have that opens up, that actually blocks off our mob evader flow and sends them over here instead of down the main trough and into the room where we kill them. The kill chamber, I guess, is what I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and I will show you that in action. Again, if you saw the last video, this will make a little more sense to you. Sorry about the ticking, guys. That is the item elevator that's actually moving the drops from mobs that are drowning up here. So anyway, here we go. Our first contestant is a skeleton. He's dropping out this way. So let me see if I can actually see these guys. Well, you can't really see them very well. Last video, let's kill this guy and I'll get a little better view, I think, down there. I don't think he can see us. Yeah, he can't. Okay, there we go. Back right over there where my little cursor is where the mob evader is. It brings them up and then they get pushed over and around here and down. We've got a block that's being shoved out by a couple sticky pistons that's keeping them from going where they normally go, and you just saw really that skeleton was probably a pretty good indicator. I don't want that creeper to spot me. It's probably a pretty good indicator of how the mobs are flowing around the corner, which is working. As you can see, here comes a zombie, I think. Just working beautifully, just pushing right around that corner. So I'm very pleased with. Oh man, that was almost bad. That would have been really bad. So anyway, I'm really pleased with how that's working out. But and as you can see, I think once we get this thing in full swing, we're gonna just get a ton of mobs. So that's what we want. But the problem with this thing right now is, for our fight club, we only want skeletons and zombies. Because we're gonna use an iron golem as our gladiator who's gonna kill them. And it ain't going to do us much good to have anybody other than that doing it, or having any creepers come through, because the iron golems for some reason just want to ignore those guys. I don't know if they're afraid of them or what their deal is, but in order to actually have a fight club that's going to work, we're going to have to separate all the mobs out. And my initial thought, I was just going to go ahead and I guess drop the creepers into lava. But after giving it a little bit more thought, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to store them separately from the other mobs. Oh, come on, guys. I'm going to store them separately from the other mobs so that we can go ahead and make maybe a record studio or something like that. So I think our first step is going to be to split everybody up, and then once we've got them split up, we can move them wherever we want to. So again, I think our fight club chamber is probably going to be some sort of room that we're going to have right around here, floating in midair. I'll have to put some kind of support system or structure in place. Maybe we'll build like a tower or something for it to be in. Actually, I'm kind of thinking this through while we're talking. That might be pretty cool. We could build some sort of a tower element, not necessarily rounded like this guy, but something over here. And then we could actually have on top of it could be the fight club, and then underneath that could be where we'll have our record studio, because that would make it a really good place to separate out the skeletons and creepers so that we can get records. And sorry, fun pastime when you've got a really nice extreme hills biome. So anyway, I think that's my plan, but let me go ahead. I'm going to bounce over into my creative world / testing ground, whatever you want to call it. I think I call it contraption world. I'll bounce over there really fast and I will show you the mob separator design. I've been playing around with it a bunch, and I think in addition to maybe building some of that thing today, I want to explain something kind of just about mob behaviors and all that good stuff, and why the sorter system that I'm about to build is actually going to work. It's pretty effective, and just in some of the initial testing that I've done with it, the only problem I'm having really is with creepers, and I've only seen one of them squeak through. So we'll get a peek at that thing, and I'll show you it in action, and yeah, hopefully everything will work out when we build it over here. Okay, so here we are in my contraption world, where you've seen lots and lots of things. I'm actually kind of proud of this, getting kind of proud of this place. I remember when I first started doing these videos, seeing other YouTubers videos, and they'd show these things, and they always had all these crazy cool contraptions built, and I remember thinking, man, I'm never gonna have something like that. But when I come in here now and I look around, it's like, man, it's pretty cool. I'm kind of proud of this place now. It's messier than hell, but there's a lot of cool things I think that are built in here. So I don't know, maybe one day I'll do like a world tour of this thing. We'll see. Because I know I do have some stuff I haven't even shown you guys. Certainly nothing I've done. I've got a combination lock design over there that I've kind of played around with, and some stuff like that. But anyway, back to our task at hand. Let's talk mobs, and more specifically our mob sorter. So here is what we have. This is just kind of to simulate the water channel, where we're going to be pushing. The mobs will be coming up from right about here, and they'll come up, they'll mob evade up, and then we have our enclosure over here, so they get pushed around the corner and they flow down the water channel. And that's kind of what I'm building right now. Right now I think I've only got it about out to here, maybe where the cats are, maybe not even that far, I'm not sure, but I'll need to take a look at it because the design of this thing is pretty important. So let me explain kind of how things are going to work here. I guess I'll start on this side. The first thing we're going to separate out are going to be creepers. And the reason we do that is because creepers are a little bit pesky. They're going to run around a little bit. They're going to kind of shove the other mobs around and things, and that makes them trouble. So I want to get them out of the mix as fast as we possibly can. So let me talk a little how we're going to do it. As everybody knows, or at least hopefully everybody knows, creepers are afraid of cats, which means, yes, I finally have to go and tame a couple of ocelots, which I will do in the world. I'll probably just do it off camera, because if you don't know already, then I'll tell you. You feed ocelots fish by standing very, very still, waiting for them to run over to you and look at you. When they look at you, you right-click on them with a fish in your hand, and voila, they eat them, they get hearts over their heads, and eventually they fall in love, and they change their skin from the ocelot to one of these bad boys. So anyway, I'll do that. You force them to sit down, and then you move them into position. The position of these guys is pretty important. If you notice, I've got the one cat over here. Well, I had him as far over here as I could. Apparently when I reloaded the world, he scooched a little bit. They're a pain in the ass. I don't really like cats. I mean, I do in real life, but in Minecraft they're a little bit of a hassle. I think Mojang has got the bug fix where they would warp to you all the time. At least I hope so. Otherwise I'm going to have to keep repositioning these guys, and I will want to kill them. But let's hope that's not the case. So anyway, I'm going to sit the guys down. I'm going to shove them in via half slabs so I can make a little staircase to push them up. Once I have him up in here, I'll push him into position. So this guy is as far to the edge as we can get him of the water stream, so our skeletons will come down here and see him first. This guy is 2 blocks away from that guy, so it's a 3-block wide platform they're sitting on, and he's as far as we can get on this side. So what's going to happen is our skeletons are going to come down here, and they're going to see that guy and go, oh crap, and then they're going to see this guy, and it's going to scare them, and they're going to start to try and run. The way that so what's going to happen is they're going to run away from the cats, and they'll hop up on this little wall and then continue to run. They'll see the trapdoors, and because, as most people know, the mobs always see trapdoors like that, whether they're opened or closed, they'll run right off it and into this little pit that I've created, which is where we'll hold them. Now, to talk a little bit about how creepers work and their fear of cats. The way a creeper will run away from a cat is they will take the shortest route that they can find. That's the other reason we want to do this first, because if we did it here, then there's a chance they might say, oh, that's the shortest route possible, and run down this hallway and go in where we're going to collect our skeletons. We don't want that. So we want to make sure that they are as far away from any exit as possible, except for this one, which is where we want them to go. So that's how we're going to try and control creepers and make sure that they come over here and they drop down in their little dungeon pit over here and bounce around and look like little hopping pickles. So anyway, that's how we're going to deal with the creepers. Zombies are pretty easy to separate out now that they hate villagers, which has pissed me off in some of my earlier videos where I had a really great villager that got eaten by zombies. This is really all you have to do for zombies. Again, we're using the trapdoor thing where they will view this as something they can run over, even though they can't. We throw a villager down here that they can see, and as soon as a zombie gets down here, they will fight the current to get to this guy. They will swim against it. They'll do everything they can to jump out and hop in this pit. So far in my testing, again, I've made this fairly wide. I've got it 4 blocks wide. You might be able to do a little narrower, but 4 blocks seems to work really well to make sure that I'm getting all the zombies. The creepers, incidentally, sorry guys, this is 5 blocks wide. Like I said, the creepers are the only ones that I've seen get through here. When I ran a test where I threw 12 of each mob through here all at once, I did see one creeper squeak through and he ended up down in the skeleton area. I guess I don't care. We're going to probably have to face the fact that we're going to get the occasional creeper in our fight club, and I'll have to deal with them probably manually. So not a big deal, I don't think, overall, but that's the general plan. So anyway, so if we've got our creepers separated out and we've got our zombies separated out, the only thing left in our trough then is skeletons, so we're just going to let the water shove them off and down into here. So we don't have to worry about trying to get them out or do anything with those guys. I think there's maybe a way, or there maybe used to be a way, that you could use snowmen to try and separate them, but any tests that I've ever done using snowmen to chuck snowballs at them to piss them off, all that ends up happening is the snowmen get killed by the skeletons eventually, and then you have to remake them, and that's just a hassle. I want this thing to be automated and something that we don't have to worry about. So I guess the only other thing to bear in mind with this, if you're trying to build this in your own world, is where the creepers, where we're collecting them, you cannot do this. If we wall this off, the creepers are not going to see this as a viable escape route, so they will say, okay, this is a further distance away from the cats until they may see an escape route, so they'll go that way. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have one side of this little separator area open so that the creepers will think they can get out even though they can't. So my general overall plan here is once I have everybody separated out, we'll use water in these little containment areas so that we can shove them around where we want them to, and I guess maybe I'll have a lever or a button or something I can push, and we'll open up like one hole over here, and we can drop our mobs out, and they'll go down into our fight club area, and if not into the fight club area, then into another little water channel that will take them into the fight club area. So ultimately we'll be able to poop out our skeletons and our zombies where we want to take them. I'll probably have to come up with some other convoluted system so that we can route our creepers and our skeletons somewhere else for the record studio, but I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. So let's do a quick little test here. Sorry guys, my mouse is still going all crazy. I'm probably going to get a new one, I think maybe this coming weekend, but so far I've just got to suffer with me. So we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to drop a whole bunch of stuff in here, and we'll see where they go, where they end up, and make sure, oh my lord, come on, make sure they end up where we want them to, and that nobody gets mixed up in bad places where they don't belong. So there we go, there's a whole mess of stuff. Oh, looks like we've got one. Oh my god, they're making liars out of me. Oh, this is terrible. What the hell? My creepers don't care. Oh my lord. Well, as you can see, the zombies are playing nice. Oh man. Okay guys, that was what we like to call a disaster. And somewhat embarrassing, but I think I just learned something pretty interesting that I did not know. When I was first goofing around with this thing before I made this for you guys, I had it all built out of the stone blocks. I did not have the glass walls in here or anything. I did that to try and make it easier for you guys to see what was going on inside of there. And the other thing that I did was I actually raised my roof everywhere so that it was at this height, and I did that all along here as well so I could fly above it and be able to look down in there easier and show you everything. It appears that that was our problem. So if I go ahead and I throw them back in here again, and I'm not going to be quite so crazy with them, I'm going to try and simulate the mob evader that we're using for the mob farm, which is only going to send through probably 2, maybe 3 or 4 at a time. So, but let's go ahead and take another test of this thing, and hopefully this time it won't make a liar out of me, and it'll show that I actually found something interesting that I didn't know about. And I'm trying to actually mix this up, but my mouse is just not playing that. Oh, look at that. We got a... That's pretty cool. We just got ourselves a chicken jockey. So, okay. If you notice, our creepers immediately are booking it over here because they are not happy about anything that they're seeing. We have got all our zombies playing nice where they're supposed to be. And last but not least, we have all of our skeletons in here. So that's good. So I would call that a pretty successful test. I'm going to go ahead and run some more mobs through here just so we can make sure that it's not a fluke or anything crazy like that. See if I can mix it up a little bit better. Oh, come on, man. Oh god, guys, I gotta get this mouse figured out. Okay, so there's a bunch of mobs that have gone through here. We'll see what happens. Like I said, sometimes I'll see creepers that will not cooperate and they'll actually end up down where the skeletons are. And it looks like I might have that guy not playing nice. Apparently he's a fearless creeper. Oh, maybe not. Yep, he's afraid of him too. Big coward. So okay, so we've got, looks like a stack of creepers right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, probably 12 or 15 here in the form of creepers. Over here in the zombie farm, looks like there's nothing in there but zombies, including our jockey, our chicken jockey, somewhere down in there. That's cool. I've never actually seen one of those spawn naturally in the game. I guess it didn't spawn naturally though, did it? Then down here, yeah, it looks like, oh, you know, it looks like we've actually got a zombie in there. So I'm not sure how he got in there. Apparently he decided he didn't like villager meat. But yeah, alright, so that's what I was expecting to see and to show you guys before. So that's interesting to note about the ceiling. So if you guys are working on one of these things in your world, make sure you have a solid ceiling that is connected to your wall. I guess let's check the roof height here. I've got, I guess there's water and then 1, 2, so we're 3 blocks high is where our roof is. And then I guess it doesn't really much matter where we drop our water down. Once we get everything sealed in here, then it all seems to work. My guess as to what happened, guys, and I'm not really sure. Maybe somebody who's looking at the code on this, if you're watching this show, you can let me know. But my guess is maybe it's the fact that there was a big gap in the roof. It was doing something to screw with the way that creepers were seeing their exit point. So instead of seeing the cats and running over here like we have them now and like we want them to do, I'm guessing they were just ignoring that, and maybe that was causing them to back up the other mobs and get in the way of the other mobs who were trying to do what they're supposed to do, which I guess would really be they're just getting in the way of the zombies who are trying to eat the villagers, because the rest of them were just ending up down there at the end anyway. So alright guys, so that is that. So now that you understand how this is going to work, I'm going to head back over into my world, and well, I'll polish these guys off as well off camera. But then we'll head back over into the Let's Play world, and I will start building this thing in survival mode instead of just creative. And we will... I'm stuck on the roof. Yeah, we'll get this thing built, and I think I'm probably only going to be able to work on, I'm guessing, just the creature, wow, the creeper separator, at least for now. But I will go ahead and I'll get that started, and I will see you guys over there in just a moment. Alrighty, so I am back in here now, and I have successfully found one cat at least. So we got this little guy. If somebody wants to come up with a name for him, leave me a message down below. I would love to come up with something to call him other than, well, I'm not going to get into what I've been calling him, trying to get him over here. Neither here nor there. Anyway, I decided after looking for about half an hour for cats and only getting this guy that the Minecraft gods were not smiling me on for cats right now, and I wanted to go ahead and get this video recorded so I could get it edited. So I will find our second cat. You know where he's going to go, so I'm not too concerned with it, but I wanted to go ahead and get this build put in place. So just to show you what I've done, this is where we had left off. I've just gone ahead, I've extended our little water trough down a little bit more, and I've built the cat platform right here. So we have 3 blocks wide, and basically I just picked a random spot to open this sucker up, and built our little cat platform 3 by 2 back here, and I'm going to wall it totally in when everything's all said and done. I don't want any way for anything to get out of here, so we'll go ahead and we'll just do that part of it right now. Ultimately this will just be bricked up as well. Then on this side, I've gone ahead, I've started to digging out our creeper holding cell, or I guess building up our creeper holding cell, because as it stands, it is just kind of floating. Everything up here is just kind of floating right now over a bunch of nothingness. So that is what's going on with that. I checked in my inventory. Where the hell did I put them? There we go. I checked in my inventory, actually, in my base over there in my storage area, and for some reason I've got, like, I think I had like 62 of these things. So I've got a boatload of trapdoors, which is a good thing, because now I don't have to worry about making a bunch of them. Not that wood's really a big deal now that I have the wood farm, but now, short of the cat that we need to throw in either here or here, I think this thing is all set up to capture creepers. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure that I do this on the walls here, just because I don't want my creepers to run this way. I want to make sure they go straight down and into the hole, and so by taking away that diagonal, it might make it a little bit more of a challenge for us to navigate around here, but it's going to make sure that we get the creepers in where we want them and not doing anything other than that. So mob AI, mob intelligence should see that as the only possible way to get away from our cats once we have them in place. Now, unfortunately, I can't test this thing right now, because if I were to go ahead and I throw the lever and all that, and even if I just let the water run to the edge so all the other mobs will just drop down there to their doom, the problem I'm going to have is when the creepers come out here, even if I had 2 cats, they're going to be conflicted. They would probably see this as an easy escape route as well, so they would just run plunging off to their doom. So I'm not going to be able to get a really good test of this thing, an honest test of it, until I have both cats in place and I've built at least the zombie separator into play. Once we have that in place, I think we'll be able to give this thing a little bit better test, or actually a test to begin with. So I just got to bear in mind that it's going to work based off of what we saw in the contraption world. The AI and all that good stuff should work properly. So I think at this point we're all set with our creeper separator. We've just got to go ahead, we got to make sure we get our cats in place, and then once I have everything set up and working, we'll have to make sure we've got a way to get them out. You'll also notice I did drop this down a 3rd block. I don't think that's going to cause a problem. I'll check that in my contraption world, and if it does cause a problem, I'll go ahead and raise it up 1. Not really sure why I did that, other than I wanted to make sure that we had them as far away from the other mobs as possible. Maybe that's dumb, but we'll see. The other thing that I have to keep in mind also as I'm building this is this block is what I'm going to have to be able to power from wherever I decide to stick my switch, if I want to actually be able to use this thing from a distance, because it would suck to have to run around back here and flip the switch every time we wanted to enact the Fight Club. So I think I'm going to go ahead at this point, guys. I'm going to call that a video, because I think we are at our time limit at this point, probably a little bit over if I know myself. But yeah, if you liked what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. It does help out the channel. And if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.